A childhood confession. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some recent r/confessions posted on Reddit. A childhood confession. I am a 24-year-old man now. For the last 5 to 6 years, I have been feeling really guilty about what I am going to tell you. I am scared of being hated and judged and hence, posting it with a throwaway account. I am on phone, so I'd like to apologize for any errors in formatting or in general. I am from a third world country in Asia where we aren't taught anything about sex. All I learnt was from movies and or friends. When I was 14 years old, I got a flash game from my friend in a CD, which was called Ganguro Girl Deluxe. It was kind of a dating sim where we could choose between 3 women, and if we won, there were sex scenes. I played it a lot on my family PC. My dad and mother aren't really technologically savvy, even now, and don't much use the computer. One day I come back home from playing sports and see that my younger brother, 11-year-old then, was playing the same game, and he probably played it a lot too since he had a raging boner. I was scared that he'd tell our parents, so I made him swear that he wouldn't tell on me because he too was playing that game. He was scared and embarrassed too and promised. A few weeks go by and once, when we are walking back from the market or playground, I don't remember, he tells me that he wants me to suck him just like they show in the game. I tell him no, so he tells me that he'd do the same for me first so that it'd be fair. This was coming from a 11-year-old kid. I may be a little hazy with the details, but I swear I never suggested it to him, he did. I didn't agree. So, after a few weeks, when our parents aren't home, he comes to me and asks the same thing. I think, what the hell, let's see what this is all about. I had no sexual experience prior to this. I still remember this and my heart clenches every time I remember this. I sit on the bed and my brother sits on the side, and I close my eyes. I am not yet hard. My brother takes my flaccid dick in his mouth and I instantly go hard and realize that this feeling is awesome. I tell him it feels really good, but within a few seconds, I get a weird feeling in my lower stomach. I run to the bathroom to pee and shit, but it's just semen. That was my first voluntary ejaculation. I go back to him, excited, and ask him to take off his shorts. I do the same and he feels good and the same thing happens with him. We do this a few more times over the next few months until I tell him it's wrong because obviously, if our parents find out, they would kill us. Even after this, we do this a few more times. As I reach 16, I am admitted to a boarding school for better education than the current small town school I was in. I was a bit good in studies, so our parents felt like I should study at a better institution. So, that was the end of our homosexual incestuous crime or whatever. I had a girlfriend there and learnt more about everything from kissing, breasts, female pleasure points, etc. I have had 2 more girlfriends over the years. Now that I am old, I feel so guilty that I had a gay blowjob from my brother even before I masturbated for the first time. I hope he is not traumatized for life. I worry if I abused him because I am the elder one. I don't know if he has a partner. I hope I didn't emotionally break him. I am worried about a lot of things and can't bring myself to talk to him. I have told him multiple times that I am sorry for all the things I have done or ever making him feel like he can't trust me. I told him that I love him and he can ask for help regarding anything. He just says, "Okay bro. You okay? Or everything's fine. I know you will probably hate me for doing this and I probably would too. I am not homophobic, just to be clear. I hate that I had an incestuous relationship and that too with a younger person. If you reached this part, I thank you for bearing with me. I hope I didn't make you guys puke." Guilty for having an affair with my stepsister. So I have this stepsis. She is white and tanned and has dark brown hair, big tits and medium ass. She always spoiled me and I felt kinda weird around her. I was in high school at the time and she was a stay-at-home mom. She lived across the country and we almost never saw or spoke to each other. The week before my vacation I decided to book a flight to their city and go visit for a week. They didn't know, so it was kinda a surprise, but they have been nagging me to come visit. I arrived at night and got to their house past midnight if I got it right. They were very surprised when I knocked on the door and we stayed up all night drinking. Her husband left for the weekend with their child to visit her grandmother. My stepsis didn't go with seeing as I was there. She wasn't really busy during the day so she regularly took me out to the mall and some local bars, We got so drunk at the bar that she told me everything that she hated about her marriage. Her husband treated her badly and he threatened to file a divorce and take the child with him. We eventually went back home and I passed out on the couch. The next morning we baked some pancakes, and that's when I started to notice something was off. My stepsister always wears non-see-through clothes. She even stated that she hates see-through clothes and hates showing off too much of her body. Well, that morning she was wearing a small t-shirt that was see-through and I could see her tits. She kept on working much of that day and I fell asleep on the couch again. She later woke me up and asked if I could talk to her in her room about something private. So I followed her and we talked for about an hour. I didn't really like talking and fell asleep on her bed, which now that I think back to it is really weird. This is where it all happened. I'm not gonna go in big detail. Anyway, I woke up in her bed at around 4 a.m. and felt her grinding her ass against my dick. It was the biggest boner I have ever had. I felt bad, 'cause I was 18 and she was 30. She noticed I was awake and turned around and apologized. She felt real bad for doing it. I said that it was fine and asked why she was doing it. She said that she was always attracted to me. Before they moved cross-country, she worked for my mother as a sales rep for her jewelry store. She always picked me up from school and spoiled me with something. She also always smiled when I glanced at her, so she started to get attracted to me. She apologized and I said again that it was fine. She turned around and tried to fall asleep. I couldn't for the life of me fall asleep. After about an hour I gave in and pulled down her pink thong and shoved in my dick. At first she wanted me to stop, but kinda in a don't stop way. She started saying this like I haven't felt this good in a while and oh yay, fuck. She then asked if she could be on top and I agreed. She took off her bra and climbed on top. I immediately played with her big tits and we had the best sex for like 10 minutes. After that we spent the whole day near each other and make out a few times. She even stripped for me that night in her bed and we had sex again. The day I flew back she said that she'll video call me in the evening. She flew to my town for 3 months and you can probably guess what happened. We had sex every day and we always slept together with no clothes on. When she flew back, her husband found out but didn't tell anyone. They got divorced and she moved in with me. Neither of our families know this but, we want to get married. But yay, we still have sex and she says it's the best she has ever had. I staged a fake car accident to not get in trouble for real. Okay, so let me paint the picture for you. I used to work as a janitor for the parks in my city. We would take our vehicles to work and then drive the city vehicles to our appointed parks. There was also a new position which was to lock up the public park restrooms at night. And me being the new guy I ended up with that position working and it was so ass. The hours were bogus, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., and being by myself driving the city car all around the city closing every restroom in each of its parks, it was sketchy as well as tiring. On the night of the accident, I used one of the trucks that I don't usually drive. It was a larger truck with tinted side hand-cranked windows and I wasn't used to the dimensions. I was driving at night and on my way to this one park. As I'm pulling up on the street I drove way closer than expected and smacked a car's side mirror with mine, and in the moment I stopped and thankfully cause I work late no one was around so in a panic I drove away to inspect the car. I've never been in a car accident by the way in my whole 5 years of driving. So yeah, I had a smashed passenger side mirror. Luckily this damage was minor enough that I could just stage it as an accident while driving to another park. Now this park, to get to its restrooms by vehicle, you have to drive on this narrow walkway that's just big enough for a car. On the way there on one side there's metal bleachers for the baseball field and on the other side is a light pole and the truck conveniently fits through there but just barely. So that was gonna be the accident scene and I make it look like I clipped the car with the metal bleachers. Call my supervisor about the incident and it wasn't a call they wanted at midnight on a weekend. That wasn't the end of it though. I had to rewrite my park restroom log sheet times to match accordingly to the fake incident to cover up my tracks and make the incident less suspicious when it's reviewed. After my shift I returned to the scene of the first accident to make sure everything was cleared and I don't know who the fuck God is but they were looking out for me cause the car I had hit received no damage it seemed. The side mirror was bent backwards but I was able to pop it back into place and fold it inward. All in all this resulted in me having to go to a 1-hour training on driving safety class, but it really fucking had my anxiety through the roof that night. I quit the job not that long after cause I just didn't want to work there anymore. I had had enough of city jobs. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.